At the last meeting of the St. Louis City School Board, the board majority surprised many by voting to drop the word interim off the title of new Superintendent Diana Boursaw. The 4-2 vote, which happened in a closed meeting, occurred after some stern objections from the board's minority, most notably from board member Ron Jackson, who stormed out of the meeting before the vote was taken. Jackson sat down with PubDef this afternoon to talk about that vote, the current state of St. Louis Public Schools, and why he thinks the state should step in to take over the district.
Well, I was upset that there was no pre-notice whatsoever about that action. We walked into the meeting. It wasn't on the agenda as an item. We talked about her reorganization plan, and at the end of that, we voted to pass the reorganization plan, and then the board president said, oh, we have another item on the agenda. We need to make the interim superintendent the superintendent because it's interfering with our ability to get some grants. And of course, Flint, Bob, Archibald, and I reacted to that, and we had some conversation back and forth. And it's pretty clear that the die had been cast. So just before the vote, when they called for the question, I got up and left the room. And they voted 4-2. Fowler and Archibald voted no. Downs, Purdy, Jones, and O'Brien voted yes. So that was it. Dr. Boursaw tried to explain that nothing is really different. It's the same contract terms that were before, which meant that the board could ask for her resignation in 60 days, and that was it. And they talked about the same contract. Of course, we had never seen the contract that made her interim, and there was no documentation, no paperwork, no indication of, no resume, nothing presented at the meeting, no analysis of her efforts since she's been here, nothing. Just it came in and said, okay, she's going to be the superintendent, period.
How would you have liked to have seen it handled differently?
Well, it's interesting to me that people who ran on a platform of community and public engagement are now acting in surreptitious, clandestine, out of the sunlight on all the things they do. That there's been no public engagement, no public involvement. In fact, the board hadn't really been involved. The total board has not been involved in any of the decisions that have been made that have not been regular consent agenda item in terms of planning, thinking about the future of the district or anything. There's been absolutely no conversation with any of us about anything that's happening in the district. So we have essentially been ostracized as board members from any significant role in decision processes, which I think is a mistake, but that's what they've decided to do.
See part 2 of our interview with Ron Jackson as we ask him if he agrees with his colleague Bob Archibald when he says that elected school boards just aren't the way to go.